My dear, I want to tell you a story, one that's been passed down through the generations. It's about love, rebellion, and the price of pride.
It's the tale of a young woman named Naoma and her forbidden love for a man named Osita Omenuko.
From the neighboring village of Alaofia. You'll find it fascinating, I promise. You see, in the warrior village of Ochenga, traditions were everything. The people were brave, their pride unshakable, and their rules strict. One of their most unyielding traditions was this. No one from Ochenga could marry or date someone from Alaofia. Ochenga saw themselves as superior, stronger, and more deserving. Alaofia to them was weak. It was unthinkable to form romantic ties between the two villages. But you know how love is.
It doesn't care about boundaries or rules.
Naoma and Osita were childhood friends. They used to play together, laugh, and dream of a world where such restrictions didn't exist. But then life happened. Osita's family sent him to the big city after primary school, and for 6 long years, Naoma didn't see him. She thought he'd forgotten her. Then, during the Iriji festival, the yam harvest celebration, Osita returned to Alaofia. Can you imagine? Naoma was at the market selling fruits when their eyes met. It was as if no time had passed. They started meeting in secret, away from the prying eyes of their villages. It was dangerous, but love made it worth the risk.
Mama, did no one try to warn them about how risky this was?
Oh, my dear, I'm sure they knew the risks, but love makes people bold. Now, let me continue. Of course, secrets like that don't stay hidden for long. In Ochenga, people started whispering about Naoma's visits to Alaofia. When the elders found out, they were furious. Every time she was caught, they tied her to a tree in the village square for an hour. A public punishment meant to shame her. Can you imagine the humiliation? But Naoma's love for Osita was stronger than her fear. She kept going back.
Mama, why didn't they punish Osita too?
Good question. You see, the elders couldn't reach him. He was in Alaofia, and they didn't have any authority there. That's why they eventually decided to go after him. After the 3rd time, the elders decided enough was enough. They couldn't just punish Naoma anymore. They wanted to go to Alaofia and arrest Osita himself. So, the warriors marched there. But when they arrived, they couldn't find him. Frustrated, they let their anger take over and burned down the entire village. Yes, the entire village. Homes, belongings, everything went up in flames. It was terrible.
Mama, they burned down the whole village just because of one man.
Yes, my dear. Anger and pride can make people do terrible things. But listen, the story doesn't end there. You'd think that would have been the end of it, right? But no. Naoma and Osita found a way to keep their love alive. They started meeting in the bush outside their villages. Still, Naoma noticed she was being followed.
She's a clever one, though.
To avoid detection, she began meeting Osita in the dead of night when everyone was fast asleep. 3 months passed, and then the inevitable happened. Naoma realized she was pregnant. The news spread like wildfire. When Osita's father, Mazi Omenuko, heard about it, he knew trouble was coming. Ochenga wasn't the type to let something like this go. To protect themselves, the people of Alaofia consulted their dragon oracle, a powerful spirit that offered protection to the village.
Mama, what's a dragon oracle?
It's a mystical being, part spirit and part protector. In Alaofia, it appeared as a snake with glowing wings. Let me tell you what happened next. And then, one quiet midnight, Ochenga's warriors struck. They came to Alaofia, ready to destroy everything and everyone. But just as they were about to attack, something incredible happened. The oracle of Alaofia, Okotoko, appeared. Can you picture it? A massive snake with glowing wings descending from the heavens. It was terrifying and magnificent. The creature unleashed its power on the Ochenga warriors, wiping them out completely. The mighty Ochenga, a village that had never lost a war, was defeated by a single act of divine intervention. The aftermath was sobering. Ochenga, known for its strength and pride, had to come to terms with its defeat. The villagers held council after council, reflecting on the destruction they had caused, not just to Alaofia, but to their own sense of morality. They realized that their rigid traditions and unyielding pride had led them down a path of ruin. Slowly they began to change. They softened some of their harsh customs, becoming more open to dialogue and cooperation with neighboring villages. It wasn't an easy process, but it marked the beginning of a new era for Ochenga. Meanwhile, Neoma and Osita's love story continued to inspire. They got married in a quiet ceremony, away from the scrutiny of their villages. Their child became a symbol of unity, a living reminder that love could bridge even the widest divides. With time, Alaofia rebuilt itself, stronger and more resilient than before. The oracle's intervention was seen as a blessing, a sign that the village was meant to endure and thrive.
Mama, did the villagers of Ochenga ever apologize to Alaofia?
It took years, but they did. They sent emissaries with gifts and heartfelt apologies. It was the start of a fragile but hopeful peace. The story of Neoma and Osita didn't just fade into history. It became a tale told around fires, shared during festivals, and passed from one generation to the next. It served as a lesson, not just about love, but about the dangers of pride and the power of forgiveness. To this day, their story reminds us that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, love and understanding can prevail. So, my dear, what do you think? Isn't it amazing how love can overcome even the most rigid of traditions?
It is, Mama. But it's also so sad. Why do people let pride and anger ruin so much?
That's the lesson, my dear. Never let pride cloud your judgment. It's a story to remember.